Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Gifts made by your child always hold a special place in a mom's heart. Here with Crafts for Kids to make just in time for Mother's Day, we welcome back children's art instructor, Lisa Arcangel. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Carrie. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
Yes.
Mother's Day is so close.
It is.
It is, and my son is graduated from college in a week. And I look back on the things he made me in kindergarten, first grade, second grade. They will always be so special.
Yes. And I think kids always want to give something and then you end up going out and buying stuff. But like you just said, the stuff that's handmade is the best.
Yes, and I want to say a special thank you to all those teachers out there that take the time to make the handmade things in class to bring home, because moms love them.
And if anybody's teachers are watching, these are perfect to do with the whole class.
Yes, and I was thinking grandparents too. If we have grandparents watching, sneak the grandkids away this weekend.
Yes.
Do these fun crafts and the moms will love it.
Love it. And these are all things that you pretty much have in the household. I love recycling, as you know.
Exactly. Very smart. Oh, and look at these adorable flowers.
So we made these in our toddler class and they had so much fun. And all it is coffee filters that I hot glued on. I made a smaller one here on cardboard and we put it on big wooden sticks, and they just take food coloring, or if you have liquid watercolor, or like in the past I've said you can take old markers and just put them in water, and look how beautiful that turns out.
Those are so cute. And so you do the crinkling and the hot gluing first.
Yes.
Before you put the color on. You don't like tie-dye the coffee filter.
You can, for another flower I've done, you can do tie-dye. Just make sure you put a lot of paper towels down, and they come out so beautiful, a lot of watercolor.
Yes, and will this work with like regular craft glue, or do you really need to use the hot glue?
I would use the hot glue.
Okay.
I would do the hot glue.
Okay, so a little bit of adult supervision there. Or actually, I burn myself with hot glue all the time, so who's talking about adult supervision?
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, those are so precious.
Aren't they pretty?
Yes, okay.
So another thing I would love doing is making these beautiful flowers, and interesting enough, they're made out of brown paper bags. So you just sketch a flower, have them cut it out, and then the inside parts are just toilet paper rolls rolled up. I snip it and then just roll it.
So you cut it down the middle first. You have to go back to the basics for me. We have to start from the beginning. Okay, so cut it down all the way, and then you can cut your little slices.
And you start slicing pieces halfway up.
Okay, slice
and then
it
you
first.
just
like that. Okay.
Put those in the middle. And then what I did is I had those leftover party beautiful straws that you don't usually use afterwards. And then a white paint marker.
Yes.
And you just have them design however they want.
Yes. Well, I know I love bright colors. I have all sorts of colors all over my house. But for people that love that really clean aesthetic, this is kind of a nice change because you have the brown and the white.
And you have tons of brown paper bags.
Of course you do, sitting in your closet. Yes.
So then I was thinking about the jar we actually put it in, and we have lots of the mocha and frappuccino glass jars left over. So I thought, what could we do with those? And I thought, how beautiful if you take your permanent markers and you just have them draw. I did like a stained glass, but you can really have all the scribble scrabbles.
That is not just Sharpie.
That is just Sharpie. And some colors seem to work better. You can test them out.
Yes.
Isn't that so beautiful?
So pretty. So do you do the black lines first and fill it in?
I did the black lines first and then kind of filled it in.
Okay, both with a Sharpie pen.
Yes. Yeah.
And you can make that as easy or as elaborate as you want.
And think about how many glass, if you started collecting your jars instead of recycling.
Well, you can even do like the bigger pickle jar, the little, but these have such a cool shape to them.
Aren't they beautiful?
Oh, yes. And then you did just dots on that one?
I did tissue paper with this, and I just cut out tissue paper, and you can do whatever. I did circles, but you can cut out into whatever shapes, and then Mod Podge that on.
Mod Podge. So you do the Mod Podge to attach it and on top?
And on top is
both.
The sealer.
I'm learning something about crafts. Yes,
you
both. Okay, perfect.
And then another jar we have a lot of is your creamers.
Yes.
And we recycle these. So once you pull off all the plastic, they're actually a good size. So I just cut it off. And then this one, all we did is we took yarn and I hot glued it, and we just kept wrapping and wrapping, and we used different colors. Look how beautiful that is.
And what do you do when you get to the end of your color?
Hot glue.
Hot glue.
Yeah.
This reminds me of crafts that I would do in the late 70s and early 80s. It's so retro. I love it.
Yes, we're both dating ourselves.
Yeah, we are dating ourselves. Did I say that? Yes.
And then, like I said, you could take these coffee cleaners and then look how beautiful they are just as flowers themselves.
Yes.
If you don't want to bunch them up and get the carnation look.
Right. So you can do individual. And then these are just pipe cleaners?
Yep, pipe cleaners. and get those on there. And look
Yeah, and
how
then
beautiful.
you can adjust the shape and do however.
Yes.
All right.
So these, how many cupcake liners do you have just hanging out, right?
Yes.
And you don't have the exact
There's
colors.
always extras.
Always extras. So you take your cupcake and you fold it and then do it again and again. And then we just took scissors and we just did a scallop cut.
Okay.
And then when you open it up, you've got your flower shape. And to get that little hole in the middle, you kind of just fold it back up and snip the little corner in the middle.
Okay.
And then you've got your hole in the middle. And then you go ahead and put them through. And I use pipe cleaners
layer.
too. Is that not the cutest?
And there's so many different cupcake liners now, and they're so inexpensive.
Yes, and these are, like I said, these are the ones I had at home.
Yes.
So it was like perfect to just use those
But even just at
leftovers.
your little craft store or the cheapie store, you can just find the cute patterned ones.
Yep. They're
Yes.
so cute.
Well, and it lasts much longer than real flowers anyway. Yes.
So the best one, of course, you talked about is having the handprints, a memento.
Yes.
And so I just got my little toddlers and I had them do handprints. And I took skewers and I painted them green. And I just had this little jar at home and I put those in there and they look like little tulips.
So sweet.
Can you imagine getting that as a gift?
And
So
then
fun.
then you go to where my son is now, and he puts his hand up, and I'm like, no, it's not even
Yes,
possible.
it's
How is
not.
that
I
this
know,
now?
time goes way too fast.
Yeah. So any advice for doing the painting and the handprint part? 'Cause
So-
they don't always come out perfect.
Yes, I just take a big piece of, I have a big piece of paper and I have all the paint that I have and you kind of do it and know the first two are
Yeah.
not great, but the
Just
more
like
you,
cookies, yes.
and the more you do it, you eventually, you only need a few. And so you'll finally get it.
Okay,
They'll
that's
get
the
better at
key,
it.
is multiple.
Multiple.
Yes.
Don't expect to get it the first time.
Well,
at all.
and I love that you can do different colors.
Yeah.
So then you kind of create the,
Yes,
you know.
so imagine a bunch of these in here with all different colors. So you can mix
Yes.
and match all the stuff I've shown.
All right.
Well, the best one, I don't know if you got to see this, the best one I did black and white pictures of my kiddos.
Look at how sweet
And they're
that
teenagers
is.
now, 13 and 14. They're going to be embarrassed I
Yes.
had that on here. I'm going to show you. These are
Yes.
made from our cups.
Okay, just
These
red
flowers.
solo cups.
Yep, so you're going to take
They're
your
not
scissors.
just for parties. Okay.
I gave you a line
Bless you.
right there.
So cut up
So
first.
cut up.
Okay.
And then you're going to get in there and follow that
So
line.
I follow the second swirly or the first?
This one right here, that line. Do you see that line I gave you right there?
Oh, the dark.
The dark line. So I just drew a line around, and this is just a
Okay.
starter. We can make these. We're going to actually make the petals, and we can
Okay.
make them as long or short as we want.
Okay.
This is just to get going.
To get started. Okay.
Yep. So now you take this part, and you're going to snip all the way up until we get to the edge of the cup.
To the edge. Okay.
All the way up, and you'll hear a little snap.
I heard the snap.
Then you
Yep.
move over about 1/8 of an inch, and snap
So
again,
Not far. Okay.
and then snap again, and you just keep going
Okay.
all the way around.
And this is so good for hand-eye coordination.
Yes, kids
and
can do this. Now, if you
dexterity.
felt like you needed to give them the lines, you could have drawn the lines on there.
Yeah.
But don't get out a ruler. It doesn't need
No.
to be precise.
And I love things that have photos. That's just kind of, I'm a
Yes.
sucker for that.
And you know, I just printed those. I didn't have to go and get real pictures. I just printed those on a black and
Yes.
white printer. And then you pull them all the way forward and you get this beautiful red flower. Now, no, these
I'm not
cups
all the
come
way,
in
but
different
you get
colors.
it.
I saw them at the grocery store.
Yes.
Turquoise and purple. And now if this flower, like you see, I have different size flowers. If
Yeah.
you want to trim it, you just trim these off and it makes
Oh,
a smaller flower.
You have the best ideas,
Yes.
Lisa.
I love it.
I love it, and I love you coming here.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was fun today.
Yes. All right. We'll have more information about this on KATU.com, and we'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this. I can do this.